Hello, welcome to Stripixel, and this is the fifth chapter of Basics of Maya. In this video, we are going to discuss about the basics of polygon modeling technique in Maya. As I have already discussed in the earlier video that there are different modeling techniques available in Maya, but the majorly used or maximum used technique in CG industry is the polygon modeling technique. Now, I would like to you to understand that this particular technique is so robust that you can create almost everything out of it. Though in the last video I have mentioned that curves are also useful in certain scenarios, but it doesn't mean that you cannot create them with the modeling with the polymodeling techniques. So let's get inside what is polygon is and how we can actually edit a polygon object inside Maya. Now I have created a polycube over here as my base objects. There's a say in the CG industry that for modelers that everything will started from a box or a cube. So yes, and that is true because anything can be started from this particular box, and you can go through with several techniques and several steps to achieve the desired model that you'd like to create. So in this video, I'm going to show you that what is this polygons are, how the polygons actually works, and how we can actually edit them or manipulate them. So let's start first with the polygon sub-object levels or the components which actually the polygon has been created of. So if you, I have already shown you in the earlier video or my last video while creating through curves that the nerves objects are having separate components mode. The curves are actually having separate component modes like edit points and control vertex and even Bezier points. Similar to that, polygons also consisting of three different things. If you right click or hover your mouse and right click on polygon object, you can see edge, vertex, vertex face, face, multi and object mode, and as well as the UV. Now I'd like to tell you that right now you need to concentrate on edge, vertex and face, these three, and of course the object mode, which is a very common one. For the time being, just ignore the UV, multi and the vertex face. Now vertex face is something which is actually not exactly the combination of vertex and face. It is something related to per vertex level of calculations which actually people can use in a very advanced stage like poly painting or vertex painting. So we are not going to discuss about all those things. Here I'm going to show you that how this edge, vertex and face will help us to create complex objects or how we can manipulate them. So if you right click and vertex, go to vertex mode, you can see you actually, if you select the vertex and hit W, you can see you have a move manipulator tool, and you can actually move those vertex, which was not possible in the earlier modeling techniques. So right now if I need certain shape, I just have to drag and select my component, and I will just have to move it down. Now similar way, if you go to the edge mode, you can select those edges and you can drag it down and you can get a slanted object. So for creating a slanted object, you don't need to you know you have to understand that what exactly the shape that you actually desire to get, and you can get it out of the polygon. Now you might have been say that it's not exactly the same thing which I'm looking for. I want something uh, slanted as well as a little bit of roundish objects. Now for that you need to know the different poly modeling tools or editing tools, edit poly tools, which will actually help you to get through. Now, for that, there are three different menus which are going to help you out on that. One is the mesh, another one is the edit mesh, and the mesh tools. Mesh display will help you in certain stages, like setting up the normals and vertex colors or locking up the normals and all of this. But for the modeling tools, mesh, edit mesh, and the mesh tools are the one which you are going to needed the most. Though, in my personal opinion, there are only three tools which is the most important tools as as far as the modeling are concerned. One is how you can subdivide your components, like how you can put a cut on a face or edge, how we can merge two vertices or edges, as well as how you can extrude your edge or face. Now, I have already shown you two different things, like vertex and the edge. Now let's see how face is actually been made of. If you go to the face mode, you can see face is nothing but the component which is connected by the vertex and the edges. So it's, if we can just subdivide everything, that a particular polygon object is consisting of several faces first, and each and every faces are actually consisting of edges, and all any edges are consisting of two vertices at least. So this is how the polygon objects been created, and we can actually manipulate. I can understand there are a lot of people who might say, you know what, I already know these things. This is something which has already been done in other softwares, but I would like to tell this is something which you need to understand before you jump into any 3D softwares. So this is for this information where for those who are actually starting absolutely fresh in Maya and never used any other 3D applications before. Okay, so right click and object mode. Now here I'm going to show you another thing which you might be able to understand, that you will see the people will actually, while modeling in different tutorials, that you just click and drag on the left side and they have got into the vertex mode, or maybe click and up and they will just got into the edge mode, and click and down they got into the right click and down and they got into the face mode. Now what is happening over here is they have been habituated by doing this, like this, like this, and if you cross them in diagonally, you pull it in diagonally, you can come up with the vertex the object mode. So it's don't get frightened or intimidated by these kind of action which actually people use while making tutorials, or intermediate level or advanced level tutorials, where they works, the people will get like this, like this, like that, and get back to the object mode. So don't get frightened. This is just something, this speed or this kind of things will come to you also while you get when you get habituated by the software. So don't worry about all those things. Okay, now let me show you that this can be done, this particular shape also can be done from just rotating the face. So earlier what I have done is actually now see, if you can rotate this face, you are actually distorting the object also from other sides. So that's where I need to choose my component level editing very carefully, that what exactly I want. I want my object to be just rotate, the top portion to be rotated and the side walls to be slanted, or I want something much more specific, like selecting the edge and just pull it down so that the other side of my of the objects are actually unchanged. So this is something really interesting when you are using certain tools, it will come to you naturally. You don't have to worry about them. Okay, let's move forward. Now what I'm going to show you, the one of the most important tool in polymodeling, which is extrude. Now if you go to the edit mesh option, sorry, yeah, if you go to the edit mesh option, there is a you can find a extrude option, and mind it, this extrude is a certainly common action which can be done in various components like face or edge. Now it depends on what uh, when you are applying what you have been what your selection was. So if I go to face, select the object, select this particular component and say extrude, and immediately you can see there is an extrude, a poly extrude face option box will come up, as well as the gizmo. If you drag, immediately you can see your object has been extruded by maintaining the earlier shape and making a subdivision in between. So this is really, really interesting, and we can actually manipulate by these. Now I have already shown you that once you have created a particular uh, once you are in the component level or the sub-object level, you can actually move them individually, as well as rotate or even scale. So if I want to create a particular shape like this, you just have to understand that we need to have a division in between, from which the other portion is going to be scaled down. So now it depends on the kind of shape that you want to achieve, that how you are going to approach your model stages or steps that we are going to use. Now I'm not going to discuss how to create a particular model in this video. I'm going to show you what are the different tools that we are having, and once our arsenal will be ready with all those tools, I will show you and how to create a particular small object while using all those tools, so that you can have a practical approach towards it. So we have already seen how the extrude works, but let me show you one more thing which Maya actually came up very recently, that how we can actually extrude our faces. Like if you hold your shift, immediately you can see your move tool also got an over a hovering message that it's showing it's extrude. So if you hold shift and click and drag your object, drag your face, you can actually create the extrusion very easily. So shift and drag, shift and drag. Now let me tell you one thing here. If you have used 3ds Max, in 3ds Max you can do this thing as a duplicate option, but that only happened in edge mode. And there are a lot of people who have been asking in the CG industry that this method should be there in Maya. And when Autodesk actually got 3ds Max and both Maya in one under one company, I think they have improvised this one and take it from 3ds Max, that option, because that got really, really popular, and a lot of people actually used it as a extruding method in edge mode in 3ds Max. Anyway, so we have seen that how we can do the extrusion in face mode. Well, the similar thing can be done uh, in edge mode also. If you select a particular edge and shift and drag, you can see immediately you can have a particular uh, uh, extrusion about the same way what you are doing in edge mode. Now let me show you one more thing, that if you go to the vertex mode and you can drag the vertex, immediately you can see that shift and drag, that will also extrude the vertex also as a common action. So it's not necessary that earlier stage it was not there because there was a vertex uh, extrude vertex option was there in Maya, which has been removed later on. And wait a minute, uh, I think they have removed it. Earlier it was there. Anyway, but right now it's it's become so easy to extrude this particular sub-object level or component level extrusion has become so easy that we don't have to worry about that we need to change our mode from vertex to edge or edge to face or something like that. So even if you are in a face mode and you just have to increase I mean shift and drag, and immediately you can get your results over there. Cool. So great. Now this is a very weird looking shape. I'm just deleting it, and let's go back to our base cube model. Now apart from that extrude, there is one more option which is really interesting, which is bevel. Now bevel is something which actually smoothen out a particular sharp area. Like if I select my edge over here and I want to create this portion uh, not sharp as it is, but I want to give it a smoother output. So what you're going to do is you hit bevel, and I'm not going to use this particular uh, menu over here. uh, you can use the number depths over here. Like you can reduce or increase or decrease the amount of area which you want to get been smoothed on. And if you increase the segments, number of segments, immediately you can see that it's that particular division, that particular portion has been subdivided. And uh, Maya has already calculated the amount of amount of divisions that you are adding, and according to that, it actually created the face structure and accommodate that particular shape. Now if you go back to the object mode and deselect it, you can see there is a very smooth surface that has been created. And if you want to do the same thing on the other side or different edge, still you'll be able to provide it while creating while using the polybevel option. So this is something really interesting, where you can create your uh, you know uh, custom shapes, where you can achieve some of the really cool models or designs according to your requirement. Specifically, these options can be really helpful to create cool shapes or custom made shapes like this. Now if I go back to my face mode, and let's suppose I want to extrude this. So what I have to do is I have to select this, shift and drag, and just have to reduce the scale a little bit. And I might want to give it a push inside to give it a depth. And immediately you can see my object that has been it can be considered as a custom shape for my design. So that's how you merge with the different tools together and come up with a specific shape of your requirement. Okay, so apart from the extrude and the vertex bevel, sometimes we might require the a specific tool. I'm just keeping this because it might help to achieve something else in later chapter. Okay, so now there's one more thing which we'd like to sometimes require, is called adding divisions of objects. Now if I Now this is a very interesting tool in Polygon, that it actually depends on which kind of mode you are, and it varies it varies its action according to the mode you are in. So let's suppose I'm in an object mode and I use add subdivisions. Immediately you can see the entire object has been subdivided subdivided the each and every faces. Now if I want to increase my division, I can immediately see the entire object has been affected by it. Now what if I don't, sorry, yeah. Now if I go to the face mode and select a particular face and then hit add divisions, now you'll see that division actually, this division add division uh, command actually only affected the selected component that I have selected before applying it. So this is a very important thing which we have to understand, that some of the edit mesh components will be completely depending on the selection base that you are actually selected. It won't uh, interact with arbitrary values or something like that. So it might throw you an error message or a warning message bottom over here at the bottom, and warn you that we don't have the specific argument to fulfill the action. So you have to be careful about all those. Anyway, so like uh, I have earlier told you that if I required a specific shape, I might have to catch up or change a particular, or add some divisions, or maybe you can uh, add some extrusions and then bevel it, and then maybe extrude again, and mix and merge the different tools. Now as we said or mentioned the word merge, I think we need to show how merge actually works. So let's create the cube again, and let me delete a specific component over there. Okay, so now what happened, that if I need to merge all these vertices over here, so for that you have to select all those vertices and you have to hit merge. Now the moment you hit merge, there's a threshold level of distance will come up, which you might have to increase before you actually see any outcome over here. Now increasing too much of threshold level might actually land you in trouble sometimes, because once you have mentioned that poly merge vertices threshold level to a very higher level, you might accidentally merge lot of unwanted vertex inside your model. So you have to be very very careful about that also. You can see I increase my threshold level and that is fine, but that generally doesn't actually help you out. So what we can do is we can actually move it a little bit closer to the object, and then if you select all both the vertices and select merge, it will merge automatically. But the problem is, sometimes it might require that, what, I want this vertex to be merged on the center part of that particular, the average center part of all of those four. Now for that thing, the merge center option, the merge to center option comes very very handy. So if you select that, it's no matter how far two vertices are, they will be actually merged into the center. So this is something really really handy. Now the same thing will happen if I select a particular edge and say merge. or maybe merge to center. So immediately what will happen, that edge is getting merged into a particular, the midpoint of that particular edge. Now here we need to understand this, that the merge is not happening on the edge level, but it's a vertex level calculation which actually occurred inside that the merge command. So I think these 3-4 options are the most important options, this which actually help you out to create any complex model, and you can achieve a lot of different models with only these few modeling tools. Apart from that, there are certain tools which we'll definitely going to discuss now. Now, the most important apart from this are create polygon tool to create the custom shapes in poly mode. Like if you go to mesh, and let's suppose uh, go to mesh tools and select the create polygon tool, and then you just randomly click, like we have used, like we have created in while creating the curves. It is the same technique that you're going to use, and then if you hit enter, you can see the polygon shape has been created, and it's got flipped though, definitely. So what you can do is go to the mesh display and use reverse to reverse the direction of the normals. I will come back to the normal thing when we'll be on the uh, you know uh, in the texturing section. So now what will happen is, what actually happened is I have got a custom shape, and you know what, this is something really complex mod, I mean a very complex polygon, because it has a multiple number of faces, and that's why it can be really uh, tricky to handle the vertices. Like if I want to move these objects, this particular this particular polygon can become a non-manifold geometry if you understand the terms in terms of the calculations. So there is a say in modeling industry that you should not use more than four-sided polygons. There's a reason for that. The calculation, while the models go to the render calculations, or even the lightings and others, it's very difficult to calculate the more than if a particular polygon faces is more than four-sided. A triangle is still acceptable right now, but more than four-sided, I would definitely recommend you to avoid them. So if but the problem is, you can say that, but this is the shape that I want. I mean, this is a perfect shape, this is the shape I want. So how can I um, make it with a less than 5 polys, or reduce to a 4 polygon object. For that, you need to use another a modeling tool, which we call cut, or split, or terms like that. So go to the mesh tool, and then use multi-cut option. So here what you can do is, you can click on one point and the other one, and hit enter, and that has been created, the subdivision has been created. Similarly, I can click this too and hit enter, and you can see now my object, this particular shape, is intact, but my polygons are four-sided. This is also four-sided, this one is also four-sided, and this one is also four-sided. So there I don't have to worry about the texture placement or non-manifold geometry calculations problem. So this is a perfect shape that you actually required in terms of the aesthetics, and in terms of the technicality, it will also a very clean geometry. Now these things will be more important in the further studies. When you go into the different the depth of modeling techniques and all, you will understand that how to handle this kind of scenarios and how to, you know, get out of that by using different polygonal tools. So let's rewind a little bit so that we can go to the next chapter while we create something complex with the help of these tools that we have discussed in this particular lesson. One is extrude, second one is how to bevel the objects, bevel the edges, how to use bevel, and the third one is merging the vertex. The fourth one we have created that create polygon tool, and the fifth one that we have used, which is the cut tool or the multi-cut tool. So this, apart from these, there are few more techniques are out there, a few more tools are out there, which we will get to know while working on a specific, which will be really helpful for us to understand while using it in a practical oriented example. So hope you enjoy this. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay tuned and follow the next videos. Thank you.